All right. Well, good morning. My name's Elizabeth Ozimek with John L. Scott on Bainbridge Island, and this is...
I'm Kyle Brose with Allegiance Home Inspection.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming this early in the morning, Kyle. I know that I get working slowly, so here's my coffee. So you're a home inspector. How long have you been an inspector?
Well, I got started and our company got started in 2014 in the home inspection industry.
So have you always been with Allegiance?
I have, well, for about a year, I mentored under an older home inspector. His name was Daryl, and very fortunate to have had a good teacher getting into the industry.
Nice. What was some of the great things that you picked up from Daryl?
Just taking great care of the person buying the home first. We pay especially good attention to detail to the actual home structure, but we remember that the person buying the home or selling the home is really the most important part of the job that we're doing. So we take great care in relaying the information to them.
Love it. I love to hear that in an inspector. What are some of the, tips or things you would point out to sellers and buyers here in Western Washington?
That's a great question, and we have learned from working for lots of different clients that moving from different regions of the country, the Northwest has its specific things to be mindful of, and that especially entails that you may have heard in Western Washington we tend to get a lot of rainfall. So some of those things that are really important with paying attention to a home is always keeping an eye on what the rain might be doing. I worked for an old contractor back in the day, and this saying always stuck out to me. He always told me to think like a raindrop, which is really helpful with being a home inspector, because we're thinking, okay, what are the gutters doing? What are the downspouts doing? How does the slope look around the home? What's the water going to do when we're getting inches and inches of rain back-to-back days, and especially in the winter time? So paying attention to that is really important, and then also just keeping up with the simple things like painting and caulking and all those little details. Those can really, especially around the exterior of the home with all the rain we get, that's an important thing to keep an eye out for, just how well that's been maintained.
Nice, very nice. I like that. Think like a raindrop. Where do you go? With all this moisture, though, you're just inspecting the home. When you find something, then what happens?
That's a great question. So we are, as home inspectors, are really the generalists. It's almost like going to visit a general doctor, but for a home. So we look at all the different systems in the home and the structure of the home, but we're not actually able to open up walls. I can't bring my sledgehammer in and start tearing into the wall. So when we find things that have any sort of deficiencies or repairs that need to be made, then we refer those repairs to be made, or sometimes further evaluation by a licensed contractor or an electrician or a plumber. So anytime we find repairs that need to be made, we just help point people in the right direction towards having those corrections taken care of.
Very nice. I like it. Let's see. Okay. Those were all very good, important questions. Let's think of a fun one. What do you prefer to inspect? A home, a condo, interior, exterior? What's your favorite?
Personally, my favorite is getting on top of a roof. There's so many incredible views here in Western Washington that I usually get the best view of the neighborhood from the top of the roof. So sometimes I just come down off of a roof with a huge smile on my face, and I have to explain that to the clients that their roof has an incredible view. So.
Just a little scenery with the work.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's very nice.
Well, thank you so much for coming this morning. Again, I'm Elizabeth with John L. Scott on Bainbridge Island, and it was great talking to you, Kyle,
Thank
with
you.
Allegiance Home Inspection.
Thanks for tuning in.